Sports card scammers always come up with ways to scam customers, and one of the ways that I saw today is that you can actually get scammed when still paying via PayPal goods and services. That was news to me. It's probably news to each of you, so I'm going to quickly share on that and then give you my thoughts. Now, today's video was always on the plan to talk through ways you can sort of mitigate and protect yourself against scammers. I was going to highlight a few things. I'll save that for another video, but one of the things I was going to highlight was there's a Facebook group called Sports Card Scammer Tracker. Now, this is something that you should all get in if you aren't already, because what will happen on a daily basis, you see, hourly basis actually, you'll see people reaching out and saying, this person's scammed me for X, Y, Z, keep an eye out. It's sort of like a community thing, right? So it's a bit big in that it's a bit hard for you to track everything that's happening, and historically as well, but my plan would be get into this group and just see things as they pop up to keep things front of mind if there's any major scammers you need to be aware of. But what actually came to light today when I was going through my examples why this Facebook group is really good for you, this person here, Braxton McCullough, I'm not sure who he is, but he just posted on the group 2 hours ago, so it's pretty recent. And he talks through, he was trying to buy some cards from someone, and this person ended up sending him pictures of cards from eBay. So he found them on eBay, and basically what he goes through over here, you can see there, you know, going through the cards in question. Old mate over here says, well, I found the cards on eBay. Why are you scamming me? And then he said something along the lines of, can you tell me like how you scam people? Because obviously he's using photos from online. How are you scamming people? And to give you some context at the very start, the reason why this person felt comfortable was because the seller was willing to accept goods and services, right? And you as a seller or as a buyer generally take comfort from that, right? Because it means PayPal's there to protect you. So he asked old mate over here, how do you do it? He's like, I'm not going to do it to you. I've made 20 grand doing this. As you can see here, I'll give it to you for $50. I'll tell you the info for $50. The guy's like, I don't really want to know. I'm not going to tell anyone. Just please tell me what's actually happening. So old mate Braxton has gone undercover here, incognito. He's trying to get some information for the community. Really good on him. But what he actually says is pretty alarming. And what he sort of says is that he'll come up with a story, right? So let's say him as a seller, he scammed someone. He's not going to send you any cards because the cards he sold you are fake. What he says he does is that he'll go to the buyer and say, listen, mate, you can see the tracking has updated. It says it's been delivered as an example. That's one example. Can you please just mark that payment's been received or the cards have been received on PayPal so I can get my money back, because PayPal's locked my money up and I can't access it. I need the money to pay my bills. So that's sort of the story he gives them, right? So then what the buyer will do, they'll say, yeah, okay, they'll mark it as being arrived, delivered on PayPal. And then when they realize that the card didn't get delivered or they weren't the card sold, they can't then go back to PayPal because they've already marked it as received, right? So that's how this scammer in this instance is getting money from the collectors. But what Braxton also asks is, do you actually send fake stuff? And he's like, no, I used to send them. I don't send anything anymore. I just come up with a story. So he doesn't even have to send the cards anymore. And you can sort of see on face value how, okay, you're sort of like an idiot for maybe falling for this scam, but like I would not be surprised with some people in the hobby, right? And I just thought I'd bring this front of mind because maybe the first point or the second point, sorry, around how he hasn't actually given you a tracking number. So why would you say it's marked as received, even if you've dealt with this person in the past? It's something you wouldn't do, right? So that's not very believable. That seems a bit far-fetched. The other point being marking it as received because, say, he's given you a tracking number. He's actually sent you fake cards. You've bought a $1,000 card off him or a $100 card, and he sent you some base cards, right, with tracking number. So it's cost him $5 to send that crap to you. You get it to your door. You're at work. It says it's been delivered. Nobody's there to pick it up or check it for you. This guy messages you on Facebook and says, hey, mate, can you please flag this as received just so I can get the money from PayPal? I need to pay for something urgently. I really appreciate you being a customer for me. So in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, I've already sent goods and services. This guy seems really trustworthy. You do it, you get home and the cards aren't there. And then PayPal's like, well, mate, you're shit out of luck. What do you do? So that's just a pretty elaborate scam and just speaks to some of the stuff that people are going to try and scam you these days. You're not even protected when using PayPal goods and services. This is why I've always said, you know, people hate on eBay's authenticity guarantee service, but I really like that. I really, like, eBay has a lot of issues as a platform, but I like those kinds of things that they're implementing to protect the buyer. And that's what it's there to do fundamentally, okay? Something like this, you think you're protected by PayPal, but you're not. And especially if you do something as silly as marking something as received before you've checked it yourself, right? I just thought I'd bring that front of mind. Scammers are becoming way more prevalent in the hobby. I feel like I'm speaking about this all the time, and I'm trying to, like, I don't want to stop doing it, but I also don't want to bore you guys in a sense, right? I feel like I'm doing this too much, but at the same time, it needs to be done, right? Because nobody else is calling this kind of behavior out. Well, not, I shouldn't say no one else, but only people like Sports Card Radio and a few others doing this on a regular basis. It's like unacceptable, and people can't get away with stuff like this. And like that Facebook group, and I'll say the name again, I'll put a link down in the description below, Sports Card Scammer Tracker. There's also another group that these guys, or the admins from this group, also run regarding eBay sellers that are dodgy. We need to be calling this kind of behavior out because it's becoming so elaborate, it's becoming more and more frequent. Seeing something like this, you on face value, but like, what kind of idiot would fall for that? But people do fall for things. People are master manipulators, right? People that scam on a regular basis know how to manipulate people. And there's lots of red flags that you can see outside looking in, but once you're in that process yourself, you might fall for some of those, right? It's just crazy. Like, you're not even protected using goods and services. That was news to me, and it's pretty shocking. Like, fair enough. Like I said a bit earlier, you're not going to be dumb enough to maybe make that mistake, but who knows? Maybe you are in that instance. So just be on your toes. When you see stuff like this, please call it out. Please join this Facebook group. Call things out when people do try and scam you. Call people out when they do dodgy things on breaks. Call people out when they package things poorly on eBay. Like, you need to be calling this stuff out because this is how they get away with it, right? And if you don't do anything, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change. It's like the definition of insanity, right? You keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect things to change. Well, you know, stuff like this, people see, people don't, and they bite their tongue and they just deal with it, deal with losing the money. And it's just crazy, and I really hate to see it because most of the time, like I said, these people are master manipulators. So they take advantage of people. They take advantage of those easily preyed upon, older people, younger kids, inexperienced people, people that are overly trustworthy. Yes, you could say everybody's out for their own, they need to protect themselves, which is true. But at the same time, we have a duty, we're like, to be a good person, right? To be a good person, it means you need to look after other people on their behalf. So if they're too scared to speak up, you need to speak up for them. That's sort of it. Just a very quick one today. I'll do a follow-up video on some ways you can mitigate against this sort of stuff to protect yourself from scammers. Like, my preference, get on Facebook groups like this, communicate with people in the hobby, get on Instagram, look at eBay groups, actually review eBay feedback, even if it says it's positive, read the actual writing when you're doing a big purchase to get some understanding, because what some people often do is sometimes you can't leave negative feedback, so they leave positive with negative words, things like that. Just get on top of this stuff, speak out when you see it, and then hopefully these kinds of idiots can leave the hobby, right? Because a lot of them are going to get a bit more desperate, in my opinion, now that the price of things are coming down. Things are starting to tank a little bit, so people are going to try and get more desperate to get their money back. People are going to be jumping ship, which is very crazy because, like I've said many, many times on this channel, now's the time to be buying, right? Now's the time to double down and get your multiples, get your price multiples, get cards for your collection for cheap. Get cheap cards for your investment that you know are maybe going to come back in a couple of years' time when the market recovers, when the recession recovers, when the economy recovers. So many different words just said just then, I should say. I hope you liked the video. Please share your thoughts down in the comments below if you've experienced similar things like that. If you've been scammed yourself using PayPal goods and services, because that's pretty shocking. And this guy, apparently he's scammed $20,000 worth. Now, he might be talking crap. I don't believe he's probably talking crap. Maybe he's talking about crap about the dollar figure that he's got from doing this, but the whole method of scamming people through goods and services, that seems really believable to me. So I'm really keen to hear your thoughts on that if you've experienced anything else yourself. So as always, thanks for watching. Please give me a like and a follow if you haven't already. Please click the notification bell. And like I said, leave a comment. That's the most important thing. I love chatting with you all. It's really good to get dialogue going, getting people's different viewpoints and things like that. I love chatting. So please do that if you can. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.